Guess it's time to get started on a project I've been putting off for a while. I really know it needs to be done, and it's starting to leak a little bit more, so I probably should get on it. And I swear, every time it rains, it seems like more of this is just washing off in the rain. I've been looking online, doing some research, trying to find out, what is supposed to be here, because I don't think this is original. I mean, I wouldn't think that originally they would put two pieces of wood across the top of the window and just butt them together for the water to run down through. I mean, but I haven't had any luck in finding anything saying what's supposed to be here. And I'm pretty sure that this is not supposed to be here. And a lot of other things, like if you look at this end, you got a board this wide on the top that comes down, and then on the end here they took a board that was this wide and cut that much out of it. It's like, I would think that if it was original from the factory, they would just use a board this wide and come up all the way around. So that's another thing that makes me think this wood isn't supposed to be here. I mean, I'm guessing somebody at some point in time put some teak trim around and it probably looked pretty good. And eventually somebody painted over it so that when it gets water in, the water can't get out. And then you end up with this. Huh. Makes it easy to get to the screws, I guess. I wonder if that could explain why it's leaking. But I'm going to go ahead and tear this one off and see what's behind it. Actually, I might have just saved myself a lot of time, because look, right here's the seal that's supposed to be behind the glass. All I gotta do is shove it back in there and it's good, right? Well, I guess that's another way of doing it. When you run out of teak plugs to put on top of the screws, you either just don't put anything there. Of course, you'll also use a different size and type of screw, or you just jab a bunch of silicone in the hole instead of using a teak plug. Yeah. Maybe this is a professional window installation here. Well, here we go. That is what is behind piece of wood number one. So it actually looks like there was never supposed to be anything around these. It looks like they're recessed into the fiberglass, and it's supposed to be a flush mount there with, I don't know, maybe eventually I'll find out. So got my drill set up with the drill bit and everything, and ran the power cord up here so that I could drill out these teak plugs, which I guess I didn't really need to, because when you push on them, the whole board moves. And now that I got the camera on, they're gonna find a solid one. But the rest of them, you go to push on them with a screwdriver and it's so rotted, they just come right out. No drill required. Yeah, I'm really thinking that this was not original, because you got a couple of them like this. The screw went in and just barely caught the edge of the plexiglass. So I'm sure that's got to be great for keeping a seal along the edge of it. Here's another one right at the edge of it. And then there were a couple of them over here that all they had is a teak plug in the wood and no screw behind it. And this little corner piece that went from here to here actually had a little bit split off of it. It was down inside in one of the cabinets. When it came off, they just filled in the screw hole with silicone. Are we ready? I didn't even try to take that bottom one off down there. See? What's the point? Oh. I guess I missed a screw. But yeah. I don't know if you can see it that good. If you take all this crap out of here that they put in there, the actual plexiglass sits recessed down in behind here. Or I'm assuming that's how it was supposed to be like 50 years ago. Okay, I think originally these port lights were supposed to be like this, where they sit down into the recess. I mean, it's not supposed to be broken out like that and that, but supposed to sit down inside this recess. Probably supposed to be a little bit thicker plexiglass that actually sticks out farther than the side of the cabin top, and that gives you a little angle to fill with marine sealant. You know, you could do it this way, but I think it's supposed to be the other way. And it's supposed to actually fit in all the way around. And unfortunately, this one's too big in this corner from here. Let's see, from here around to right in through here. Well, they broke this place, so it probably fits in there. But from here up to about here is too big to fit inside. So if you can't do it right, at least you can throw some teak on top of it and make it look decent for a little while, until you have to do this and that and that and that and that. But other than that, throw some teak on there, it'll look good. Well, all it took is a little bit of sanding on that outside edge around there. I still think it needs a little bit more. And I'm probably not going to reuse this. I'm not sure. I might not. But at least now it fits inside the recess like it's supposed to. Like I said, a little bit more off of right there, it'll fit better. It'll go in just a little bit tight right now. Okay, there we go. So I went ahead and sanded around the edge and wiped it down with acetone and stuff. Plexiglass is fitting in okay. Now all I need is one of my faithful viewers to hand me the duct tape, and maybe we can have this job done before the sun sets. No? Okay, I guess I gotta turn the camera off then. So pretty much since we bought the boat, we knew that this corner down here, well, wasn't quite this bad. I think this is the piece that went up the side here, but we knew that the bottom corner was rotted out and it was going to need redone. And kind of looking at what it is, and took measurements of everything around it, and you know, I didn't want to do something like this one where it's got this joint right here in the middle, because I don't know if you would ever get a good seal. You would have to, I mean, if it was glued together before you put it on, maybe. But then the fact that the cabin top has a slight curve, once you screw it down, that's going to try to pull that apart. So trying to figure out ways to do this and make it better than what's on here. We even went out and bought some teak, and I bought pieces that were wide enough that I could do this in one and then trim it down and cut the angles to make it match the opening. And then, like I said, with this thing where it's wide on the top, the entire curve of the window is cut into this vertical one. Well, why not just keep it this size all the way around? I don't know. So yeah, it's been in the back of my mind for quite a while now, and trying to figure out, you know, is this original or not, and the different things like that. And then been doing some research, and then was it last week it rained, and I think we got like 4 inches on Sunday, and started noticing when I was down here working, noticing that getting a little bit of water coming in around this one here. Maybe I'll be able to show you. I don't know, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but when I was looking at them from the inside, not really focusing good. There's actually space between the plexiglass and the outside layer of fiberglass here. Like I said, I don't know if you can see it or not, but when I was over at this one, I could put my hand up against it like this and push on it, and this area would actually, the whole window would move out. So I was doing that, and I started looking down inside, and I could see that it went down, and then there was a little lip sticking out. That's how far I could push it out with all the wood and everything on the outside. So I pushed it out, and I could see that, and got me thinking. So I went online, started doing a bunch of research and checking into things, and now we'll go back outside. So when I was online doing my research to find out, you know, I couldn't find anything on this actual boat saying what it's supposed to be, or even pictures showing, you know, I could see forums where people said such and such company out in Texas or wherever can make plastic pieces to put in here, and they showed pictures of theirs after it was done. So I don't know what it originally looked like, but when I was checking around, found that the ones like this, a non-opening port light, recessed like this, and you're supposed to put it's a 3M double-sided tape. Was it 3M VHB tape, which stands for very high bond. And you put that in here. Then you put your plexiglass up to it and push it and seal it in there. And then usually the plexiglass doesn't go right up to the fiberglass, or the plexiglass sticks out higher than the fiberglass. Let's see. Yeah, this exaggerates it a bit, but let's say your plexiglass sticks out like that, and then you come along this corner here and fill it in with marine sealant to give it a nice beveled edge on there to seal everything up. So it's got the tape behind it sealing it, and then marine sealant along the outside to seal it. So now that I got it apart and I see that's how it's supposed to be, pretty sure that's what I'm going to end up doing. But you can see, let me find a good place. Right here, kinda. This is the original gel coat on the inside somewhere. Here's a little bit of it still left. There's different places where the gel coat is still in there. So I guess whoever messed with these windows and screwed them up before, when they took the old ones out, like you can see, there's no gel coat here. Most of it is missing. Some of it you can see the fiberglass, the fibers have actually been ripped out. And I'm guessing that, you know, is that from a pry bar or chisel or something that broke all the gel coat off of here? And, you know, another spot up here. Wait a minute. Where's my screwdriver? Yeah, they must have used a bigger screwdriver than this one, huh? So, when I put it back in and do it right, I need to sand all of this down and sand underneath here, and all the places where they put screws right at the edge of it. I'm going to have to fill that in and get this back so it's a smooth surface in here, so that I have something for that high bond tape to stick to. So that's all going to take a while, plus this is just one. I've still got that one and two on the other side to tear apart. And what is today, like December 17th or 18th? I don't know. It's a Monday. It's a Monday in December where it's actually warm enough to do something, and then the rest of the week is not warm enough to do anything. So it's going to get done right, just not right away. How about that? It looks more and more like a brand new boat every single day. Well, actually it kind of looks better in a way. I mean, other than the crappy duct tape holding it in and stuff, and the window's still dirty, and, you know, this green paint needs to go and turn into white paint, and this here non-skid that's, I think it's made out of broken glass or something. But, you know, right now we're talking about this. I kind of like the even look of it, instead of having the wood sticking out like that one. You know, more like a slick look. I think it makes the boat go faster too. Yeah, that's what matters. Less drag, because smooth means I go faster. So yeah, from the inside here, I mean, there's a little bit of metal trim that goes along here, but you can actually see that the wood and silicone crap on the outside sticks up higher than the opening for the window. Same thing, you know, on the end, the wood comes out, and I don't know how good you can see that. So I gotta think once I trim this tape back I mean, once I actually do it the right way, and there's nothing sticking out here, it might actually look a little bit better. Then again, I guess if the whole edge of this one wasn't full of rotten wood and dirt, then it would probably look better.